All right, it's a big night. We got a big announcement coming. It's a big episode. This is a really big episode, and we're coming off of episode 5, which might be, if not the one of the most responded to, buzzed about, talked about episodes we have ever done. So much to cover. I know that you're eager to get into the episode, so I'm going to keep this intro as quick as possible. But as I always say, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, please say something in the chat. Type the number 1 if you want to, but ask a question. Tell us where you're from. All of that helps activate the algorithm. It tells Facebook and YouTube something exciting is happening, and then they start putting it in front of more eyeballs. And we've had many people who have started watching the show because on Facebook or YouTube, a live stream came across their feed. They were intrigued. They wanted to know more, and they ended up watching the show. So you could really help us out by doing that. And while you're doing that, if you don't mind, smash that like button, hit that notification bell, the subscriber button. We are approaching 2 million subscribers on YouTube. So please help us get there. We're so close. And when you subscribe, that also allows you to comment. If you can't comment unless you're a subscriber on YouTube. So please make sure you're doing that. Now, what is coming up ahead on this live stream? We've got episode 6. This is the big one. Well, it's one of the big ones, I should say. And at the end of the episode, I've got a big announcement for you. I've got information on episodes 7 and 8. We got a big announcement on how you're going to watch it. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. And we also have an exclusive sneak peek of episode 7. So do not miss that. So please, when the episode is over, do not go anywhere. Stick around. Now, if you happen to be watching this on Facebook or YouTube more than 72 hours after tonight, so tonight is Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. If you are watching this later, bear in mind that we take the episode down after it's been up on Facebook and YouTube for 72 hours. At that point, the only way you're going to be able to watch this episode is in the Chosen app or the Angel Studios app. There are 2 apps. Yes, there's an Angel Studios app, which has the Chosen and then other projects, and there's the Chosen app. It's new, and it's got more exclusive Chosen specific content. So if you want to watch our after show, we've got a big after show coming after this episode tonight. We've got Bible roundtables, which is where we go into each episode, and we've got our Bible experts who talk about, they dive deeper into the Bible history of the episode, the cultural context, the historical context. These are only available in the Chosen app, so that's a perfect place to watch all these episodes completely free, completely easy. You just look up the Chosen app where you're going to go, where you get your mobile apps, where you get your streaming TV apps. All of those are available free and easy there. Now, one other thing I want to mention shortly before we get into the episode. I've got this mug here. Okay. Now this mug right here says, I don't know if you can see this clearly or if there's a glare, might be out of focus. It says, look up. Now, I'm right-handed. So and this is the majority of you are right-handed. Now, when I'm drinking from this look up mug, it's a message to me. Now, why would we do that? See, typically you might think merchandise or gift items for most shows are intended to be promotional. They're outward facing. You know, even the hoodie that I'm wearing, the Against the Current Chosen hoodie that I'm wearing, it's more outward facing. But even with that, we're trying to actually send some sort of message, start a conversation. The fact that the 13 fish are going against the current, that says something. We never try to do things that are just promotional, but this goes even further. This is actually intended for you so that when you do drink, you're reminded every morning, every time you have your cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is, or evening, you're reminded to look up. And where did that come from? Well, in season 2, Jesus said that to Mary Magdalene. In season 3, the last episode you just saw, episode 5, he says it to Veronica because she is questioning her worth. And he calls her daughter at one point, and she says, I'm no one's daughter. And he says, look up. This is a reminder that we try to give in the show, but it's also a reminder that you need to give yourself. So this mug, I'm taking 20% off. You use discount code at checkout, look up. Colin probably has already put that up along the bottom of the screen. You're going to go to thechosengifts.com, www.thechosengifts.com. When you do that, you can order whatever you want. You'll get, and when at the discount code at checkout, you just put in look up, LOOKUP, all one word, and that will get you 20% off these mugs. It's so important to me that you are given this reminder because the same struggles and questions and doubts they faced in the first century are the same ones we face, but the answer is the same now as it was then. And these 2 words are 2 of the most important words that you can live by, is that constant reminder. Now, on that note, I want to read this to you and then we're going to get right into the episode. Got this note on Facebook from Jay McCarthy. Said, my 14-year-old was sitting next to me on the couch while we were watching this last night. When Veronica said, I just need to touch the garment, my son gasped out loud, reached for my hand and said, "It's the woman, the one who is healed." My boys are seeing these Bible accounts coming to life, and it is amazing. Thank you 1,000 times over. Every time I hear that from a parent, it just rocks my world. I just love it so much. And then there's this right here that I wanted to read for you. This really was intense. Forgive me as I pull this up. Let's see here. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so I'll make this quick. She sent a long message, but I'll try to abbreviate this. But this is, again, another reason why we do these shows and why we do an item like a Look Up mug, because it matters. It brings you closer to God and to the stories of Scripture. But she says, as the episode started, episode 5, I was blissfully unaware, or perhaps naive, to what was being depicted on my TV screen. I was sure it was a continuation of the Veronica storyline, having been set up in episode 4. Then the word womb was spoken, and I instantly knew what was being portrayed. Then Eden's face. This is the beginning of episode 5 when we showed Eden's miscarriage. And I crumbled. The entire opening credits, I sobbed into my husband's chest, then composed myself enough to watch the remainder of the episode, tears streaming down my face. Veronica healed, Neely raised to life, and Eden's face at the conclusion of the episode. And I knew exactly what she was thinking, feeling, and praying in that moment because I was her. In 2020, I experienced 2 back-to-back miscarriages that left me feeling that brokenness that Lada Silva, as Eden, portrayed so well. Why not me, God? Why not my baby? You have the power to heal, to save, to raise from the dead, and we've been faithful, so why wouldn't you save my baby? Again, that's what I talked about. These questions were asked then, and they're asked now. She says, I don't have that answer, and doubt I will this side of heaven, but I had no idea that while watching the Aftershow, this is later in the live stream, I would be struck with something that has been, by far, given me the most comfort I've felt in 3 years. You were talking to David Nasser about the For Others organization. This is a video we'll show you at the end of this live stream as well, about this organization that's geared towards foster kids, which is we're partnering with them. And you brought up the idea that framed Veronica's story so well, father to the fatherless. The image of my sweet babies lost this side of heaven, being held in paradise for eternity by our loving Father, loving them infinitely more than I ever could. They are in his arms. And the reminder of that, the image of Jesus calling Veronica daughter in all of it, just led me one more step to my healing. And then she talked a little bit about how it was uncomfortable watching that scene and actually painful for her initially. But then isn't it the show's catchphrase, get used to different, get comfortable being uncomfortable, get used to hard conversations and heartaches. Because if there is anything I know for sure, it's that walking this walk with Jesus is anything but comfortable in this world. But he has overcome it and is our source of comfort and peace. And we are called to get in the trenches and be uncomfortable with people who live their lives in discomfort. It was a great reminder. And then she thanks the cast and the crew for making this show. Look up. That's the point. It's also one of the key messages of episode 6, which we are going to start right now.
Be quiet!
You'll catch your death out there.
Pontius. 4 more. And so early in the morning.
What time of day is an ideal time to die? I'm a governor, not a philosopher.
It's excessive. The people already resent you, and Tiberius will be loath to hear of another insurrection.
4 convicted revolutionaries. Jewish zealots, darling. Leave the governing to me, Go back to bed.
I haven't been sleeping well.
Huh. Go pick some flowers.
And where are you going?
I have a date.
Oh.
An old friend.
You don't have friends.
I do so.
You have valuable contacts. People whom you find useful. Strategic acquaintances.
Maybe you should be governor.